was a California August in '82 when my mother gave birth to the Spam Tech crew. 13 years later had me looking at Linux. Programming made me stronger like Papa the Spinach. Now, people know that a DG carry weapons, but if that weapon is a nest, you step in. We finish Contra with only one life. Finish Metal Gear 2 using only a knife. Right. People might think that we're frontin', then they see all the noobs online that I'm putting. My rhymes flow just like my code, even though my source is owned by Sko. What about my Indian? I keep it low. See me on Gunbound, call me pro. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. No. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I said my heart's wide open goatsy, and my windows min like Ho Chi. I'm just another nerd, but I rap about it. Shit talk on the net, then I laugh about it. I've been caught slipping like the Star Wars kid when I'm on eBay sniping a bid. Catch me on a webcam like Numa Numa. See me at the club and I'm rocking Puma. Another net legend if you see me yodel. Spit a little something that's anecdotal. Tell me about the time the E-Bombs world stole your chop like I stole your girl. Catch me on Gen May, not something awful. Low tax would ban me, raffle. I'm a certified legend, but I'm still your bro. This is a PSA, boy, the more you know. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spam. I'm a legend everywhere that I go. Every distro, every Craigslist hoe pumping they fist, yo. Can't get enough of Whitey Crackers jams, and they can't get enough of Whitey Crackers spams. Yeah.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD coming at you with another real talk with real geeks. We're going to be talking lots of entertainment, Hollywood news. Hollywood just keeps getting more and more weird, strange, inappropriate, if you will. And we're going to be talking about it. I guess it's just woke, right? Hollywood's just getting a little too woke for us. We're going to talk about some of that. That track always makes me want to become a virgin nerd. Oof. The Tommy Uemiko track or the YT Cracker track? Did he? Don't say that, Shane. I don't think Gary didn't die. Now I gotta look this up. Now we're gonna derail the whole stream, so I can make sure that Gary's not dead. Good job. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure Gary did not pass away. Let's see. He made a tweet 2 hours ago. So he's not dead. I'm pretty sure not dead. He didn't. Why would you say something so controversial? Trying to get me canceled. Speaking of controversial, we're going to be talking about the allegations against Namor actor Tenoch Huerta. He's being accused of some really sexual assault. Let's just, I don't want to mince words. He's being accused of sexual assault. We're gonna take a look at that. Of course, we also got to take a look at the rumor that Apple is going to buy Disney. Ooh. Then Micheal Shannon throwing some shade about reprising his role as Zod. He says it wasn't satisfying. He didn't like it. Then, of course, we're going to discuss how Amy Schumer almost ruined the Barbie movie. Man. We dodged a bullet with that one, folks. Then, because we love movies so much, we're going to talk about the 136 movie sequels. That's right, 136 different sequels have been greenlit. They're on their way to theaters near you. Now we're going to talk about some of the highlights. Some weird ones in there. There's some weird ones that I never expected. Then, of course, Netflix is saying that all their subscriptions are going up. They're saying people going up. The sign-ups are at the highest level ever, thanks to the password crackdown. I guess people need their Netflix, even when they said, hey, we can't share no more, we got to buy it. And then we got a weird story from Elle Fanning. She lost out on a role because they said she was, quote, unfuckable. That's right. But it's actually a lot weirder than it sounds. And we're going to get into that later on. Gary is an internet porn canceller. He died in our heart. Oof. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Hopefully you didn't go woke, get broke. It's going to be a wild night. You miss Gary? I miss Gary too. We all miss Gary. He's in our hearts. We carry a little bit of Gary with us every time we talk about the LGBTQ community. It's a little bit of Gary with us. All right, let's get to the first topic. Let's talk about Tenoch. Good old Tenoch Huerta. Let me pull up this article here from Hollywood Reporter. All right, what we got going on? I woke up to the injustice of Jersey Sheets. What? Wakanda Forever star Tenoch Huerta denies sexual assault allegations. Musician and activist Maria Elena Rios accused the actor in a social media post on Saturday. This is breaking news. Kevin Feige's still out there breaking stuff at MCU HQ. Black Panther Wakanda Forever star Tenoch Huerta is denying any accusations of sexual assault. On Saturday, musician and activist Maria Elena Rios accused the actor of being a, quote, sexual predator in a post on social media and followed up by stating that the actor had sexually assaulted her. Quote, it's very difficult to talk about the emotional abuse and the abuse of power of a sexual predator who is loved around the world for playing a character in a movie such as Tenoch Huerta, she wrote. On Monday, Huerta released a lengthy statement denying the claims, calling them, quote, false and completely unsubstantiated. He said that roughly a year ago, he and Rios had a consensual relationship that lasted several months. So this is already we're getting into the he said, she said territory. I don't know. Is Disney? We got another. The hell's his name? Jonathan Majors. We got another Jonathan Majors on our hands. We're gonna find out all kinds of shit coming out about Tenoch. Throughout it was loving, warm, and mutually supportive relationship. After it ended, however, Elena began to misrepresent our interactions both privately and in front of groups of mutual friends, Huerta said in a statement. As a result, a few months ago, I engaged a legal team to commence the appropriate actions to protect my reputation and refute these irresponsible and false accusations that can cause great prejudice and damage. Huerta had a lengthy career in Mexico before becoming known to global audiences with last year's Black Panther Wakanda Forever as Namor, the classic Marvel character. He was also among the cast of Netflix's Narcos Mexico and the feature The Forever Purge. Though no formal plans have been announced for future Marvel appearances, Wakanda Forever strongly suggested there was more to come from the character. You knew there was. Namor is a major character. There's no way that he's a fucking one and done. There's no way. No way. No way Marvel was planning this guy to be one. They probably had some big plans for him. Maybe not so much anymore. It says, although I am by no means perfect, I know that these allegations are simply untrue, and while I will always work to improve myself, I need to contest claims that are both false and offensive. The actor's statement continued, I am deeply grateful to my family and the people who have supported me and greatly appreciate everyone who is willing to look at the facts and reflect before rushing to untrue and unjust conclusion. I don't know. Sounds like to me, I think this guy might be innocent. He might be innocent. He might be getting railroaded. There's been no police reports. There's been no evidence to back up the claims. I haven't seen anybody coming out and saying, hey, they heard about these things, or hey, they had witnessed some things. As far as I know, there's no other victims coming forward. But let's see what Grace Randolph, good old Grace Randolph, had to say in the situation. And we all love Grace Randolph, don't we? Grace Randolph says, some of you have been asking me my thoughts on this. I think at this stage it's too early to really react. Right now it's an internet accusation. Of course, Army Hammers turned out to be true. ... I will say there was smoke with Tenoch Huerta back when he was cast, so this isn't totally coming out of nowhere like with Majors. Really, I've heard nothing. If there was smoke back when Tenoch was cast, how come we didn't hear about it? I don't remember hearing anything. Pretty bad for Marvel, if true, obviously. And I feel bad for his victims, if true. So that's what Grace said. But here's the problem. I had a little problem with Grace's statement here. A little problem with what Gracie had to say. Because if you know anything about Army Hammer, this is from CNN, of all places. CNN says, Army Hammer will not face charges following sexual assault investigation, according to LA District Attorney. So no, despite what Grace is saying, that Army Hammer's accusations turned out to be true, he's not being charged with sexual assault. They did not turn out to be true. They turned out to be, we don't know, because there was not enough evidence to charge him. So yeah, I'm getting tired of these people putting their spin on things. I'm getting tired of people in Hollywood, people in the movie talk community, throwing this shit around like if it's true. Oh, it's true. It's 100% true. No. Army Hammer was not charged with shit. There's nothing to substantiate the claim, and you need to stop saying this bullshit. But wait, there's more bullshit from Grace. Because I know you guys love Grace Randolph, so we're going to take a look. And this is all thanks to our good friend Anthony Beltry in the DM group. He mentioned Grace Randolph. He said, oh, you're talking about that bullshit from Grace? So this is Grace Randolph. 10 hours ago. This is from 9:11 a.m. on June 12th. That's today at 9:11 my time. And she said, here's the issue with the Fantastic Four cast. Marvel decided to go for big stars for some reason, yet now they all want big paydays. And movie has 4 leads, so $80 million for cast alone. That's nuts. What happened to the MCU being in star-making business? I much prefer that. So at 9/11, boom, cast is set. It's $80 million for the cast alone. Now, if we scroll down to Grace's reply to her tweet, this is from 9:13. So 2 minutes later, I'm hearing all roles back in play again. Others are being considered again. So within 2 minutes, within 2 fucking minutes, Grace has now refuted her own claim that the cast has been set and they're all big name actors. This is what all these people do, right? They cover their asses. They put out a tweet saying, the cast for Fantastic Four is locked. And then they put out another tweet saying, well, I'm hearing that maybe it's not locked. Maybe it's not locked. But within 2 fucking minutes, you don't go from fucking locked cast to unlocked cast to suddenly everybody's in play. Suddenly they have no idea who's going to star in the Fantastic Four. And this lady gets money. They give her money for these type of scoops. This is such utter bullshit. Boggles the fucking mind. It boggles the mind. That there's an amount of sheep in this world. There's an amount of sheep that follow people like this, and they fucking just lie. They just lie, cheat, grift, and they get away with it. Yeah, it's terrible. Thanos died. That's why. That's what happens when a man lives without love. But he loved death, or at least in the original comics, he loved death, and then they changed it because, they said that having the personification of death was too confusing for general audiences. They wouldn't get, they wouldn't understand such a thing. Stupid execs. All right. Let's move on to bigger and better things. Tenoch Huerta, I think he's innocent. There doesn't look like there's much evidence other than a jilted ex trying to get revenge. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We still got to, we still haven't heard anything about Jonathan Majors, right? We're still waiting for that to be settled. But I can imagine the fucking 1-2 below this would be if Jonathan Majors and fucking Tenoch both were just guilty. Nah. MCU is AIDS at the moment. Oof. MCU going to Shat is the reason why X-Men needs to be its own thing. But it won't. The X-Men, I have a feeling that they're waiting on the X-Men to inject new life into the MCU. Like, when it really starts fucking heading downhill, they'll be like, hey, we got the X-Men movie coming out. Look, X-Men in the MCU. And then a couple years after that, they'll just reboot everything. That's my prediction. Anyway. All right. Let's see. What else do we got going on? This is from DizDining.com. I know, very reliable source. It's a Disney guest experience thing. Disney Dining. Diz Dining. Apple Inc. to purchase Disney for $109 billion. If one high-powered analyst gets her way. So this is obviously a rumor. Apple Inc. could be poised to purchase the Walt Disney Company for approximately $109 billion. That's if Wall Street analyst gets her way. The idea is not a new one. Apple and Disney, the ultimate power couple within the corporate world. Talk of an Apple-Disney marriage has been around for years. In fact, Disney CEO Bob Iger and Apple co-founder Steve Jobs had multiple interactions, though never any intentional meetings to discuss specifics about a possible merger. But many of the business say that the Jobs' death in 2011 played a role in ceasing any kind of Apple-Disney merger. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine fucking Apple buying Disney? Another good thing ruined, not surprised. I think this would be good if Apple bought Disney. This might, if Apple bought Disney, we might have less woke Disney. We might have more traditional MCU, more traditional Disney products, maybe some less egregious things like, The Little Mermaid. But we'll see. What else we got to say? A merger of these proportions would be unrivaled in the U.S. marketplace, if not the world marketplace. And over the last week, the proposal of such a merger has gained traction as one highly influential Wall Street analyst has crunched the numbers, as number crunchers do, and come up with an almost unbeatable conclusion that Apple could acquire Disney in a deal that will ultimately render both entities far more profitable together than they currently are separately. A Needham analyst, Laura Martin, notes the strength of the company's distribution footprint as well as their respective quality content and firmly believes that such a merger would serve to increase Apple's worth by 15 to 25%. Hey, it's not called the Magic Kingdom for nothing. Now, we believe that the great content and strong distribution footprint are complementary networks, Martin wrote in a post. That is, both are worth more if they have the other. The highly respected analyst further said that Apple's strong suit is in distributing content on a global scale, thanks to the more than 2 billion mobile devices owned by 1.25 billion, quote, affluent customers around the globe. Martin also says that Disney shows excellence in creating content and using digital screens, theaters, hotels, cruises, and theme parks to share or distribute it. Not the Disney content that's been flopping around the world. It's Apple. We get Pride wallpaper every week. Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't know that. I don't have Apple products. You can't run away from this. I'm still excited for Secret Wars and 56. You can't run away from the social climate. One can dream. One can dream. What's up, Dachin? Dachin Nubin. We argue that the best way to think about Apple's valuation, pricing power, competitive advantage period, and barriers to entry is through the lens of 1.25 billion of the wealthiest consumers in the world, using 2 billion active Apple devices on an average of 4 hours per day. Man. In the days after Disney's board removed former CEO Bob Chapek from his post and reinstated veteran CEO Bob Iger, talk of Iger deciding to sell to Apple was the topic of trending stories and consumer news feeds all over the world. But such rumors were quickly squashed, though speculation remained about Iger's intentions of selling the Walt Disney Company at some point during his take-two as Disney chief. But perhaps the speculation shouldn't have been so quickly dismissed. After all, under Bob Iger's administration, Disney has spent close to $100 billion on acquisitions of entities such as Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and the biggest snafu of his history as CEO, 21st Century Fox, a transaction for which Disney is still in debt more than $45 billion. How the hell is Disney in debt? That seems odd. Iger has publicly lamented not taking steps to move forward in acquiring Apple years ago, seeing it as the one that got away. But as both companies are so large, is it possible there would even be an acquisition? Or would the deal only go down as a merger? That remains to be seen. Apple Disney. Disney Apple. I don't know. That would be a powerful company. They would dominate the globe. I mean, with the UK blocking the Microsoft acquisition of Activision, I don't see how an Apple Disney merger would just go unchecked. Just like, yeah, go ahead, just Apple Disney, just fucking take over the globe. If Apple and Disney were to come to an agreement and Apple submitted a proposal to acquire the Walt Disney Company, that proposal would likely need to include a payment of approximately $109 billion if Apple were to purchase Disney at its net worth. The net worth of the Walt Disney Company can be calculated by subtracting the company's liabilities from its assets, yada, yada, yada. So Disney's worth about $109 billion right now. I don't know. Just a rumor. But we could see it. Haunted Wiz says, yeah, Apple will be allowed. They're always allowed. Yeah, it's true. That would be interesting. I could see Apple buying Disney, then Amazon trying to get a hold of Warner Brothers. Man. Easy. Apple can just tell the government they'll be getting iPhones with USB-C. Dang. It's true. I forgot about that. They'll get special government iPhones. I think I'm tired out. Why are you tired? Don't be tired, Dachin. Don't be tired. I think this is interesting. I think, again, if Apple were to take over Disney, how would that affect the MCU? Star Wars? Are we just going to churn out even more product? Is it just going to be a fucking assembly line? It's already an assembly line at Disney, but could you imagine with Apple in charge? I don't know. Not good. Alright. Let's jump on over. See what Micheal Shannon has to say. It's from Variety. Micheal Shannon admits reprising Zod in The Flash wasn't satisfying. These multiverse movies are like somebody playing with action figures. I mean, the guy must have gotten a script, right? Micheal Shannon had to have gotten a script, and he looked at the script and he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going." I don't think they forced him. I don't think they pulled up to his house in the middle of the night with a black van, put a bag over his head, threw him in there, and drove him down to the set of The Flash and forced him to reprise the role of Zod. I'm pretty sure they contacted him through the normal means and said, "Hey, we got a script. You think you'd be interested in this script, Mr. Micheal Shannon?" And he was like, "Yeah." The fact that it was unsatisfying, I think that's on him. It's on him. He kind of knew what he was getting into when he signed up for the movie. Again, this isn't a case of Micheal Shannon being tricked, right? This isn't like when Bob Hoskins thought he was making a different Mario Brothers movie, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh shit, what the hell is this?" You MCU, DCU fans are getting milked hard. We are. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I'm such a simp. Join the sci-fi hype train. We're getting Dune 2, the creator. The creator looks good. I like that. I did like that trailer for the creator with the robots and stuff. I was never really a Dune fan. Couldn't really get into Dune. I didn't read the books. I saw the movie with Sting, and it was kind of weird. I think I played like one game for there's a Sega CD Dune game. And I didn't. That was kind of weird. It was almost like a point-and-click adventure type thing. And then, and there was an RTS Dune game that was pretty fun. It was like Battle for Arrakis, but it was like RTS. But other than that, I really never been on the Dune train. You gotta sell me. You gotta sell me on this 56K warning. Why should I be interested in Dune? What does Dune have to offer? Right. Does it have lightsabers? Does it have the Force? Does it have warp speed, Mr. Zulu? That's what I need. I need some. Now, Micheal Shannon has previously revealed that he was, quote, a little confused when he received the offer to join The Flash in a reprisal of his role of General Zod from Man of Steel. Now the actor has revealed that those complicated feelings weren't exactly resolved while making the new DC film. So they contacted him. They said, "Hey, would you like to reprise your role?" And he was confused because he was like, well, Zod's dead, right? Like, Zod's dead. Why are you calling me up? And they're like, "Hey, it's going to be like this and that and the other." And he was like, "Cool, I'm going to do that." Then he was like, "You know what? This is stupid. Why am I doing this?" Come on, Michael. Come on, Shannon. In a new interview with Collider, Shannon got honest about the multiverse traversing premise of The Flash and his own dissatisfaction with Zod's arc in the film. Zod shouldn't have an arc. He's a villain. He's just a villain. There's no arc. There's no need for an arc. I'm not going to lie, says Shannon. It wasn't quite satisfying for me as an actor. These multiverse movies are like somebody playing with action figures. It's like, here's this person, here's that person, and they're fighting. It's not quite the in-depth character study situation that I honestly felt Man of Steel was. Wow. I don't think I've ever considered Man of Steel an in-depth character study movie. Dune is about drugs. Drugs that let you go to space fast. Jay Cut says, "It has sand, and I hate sand. It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere." I agree. Sand is terrible. But the spice must flow. Jay Cuts, the spice must flow. Shannon shared that he felt that The Flash was, quote, all about Ezra Miller. Zod was, quote, basically there to present a challenge to the film star. Exactly. That's exactly what you hit the nail right on the head, Micheal Shannon. The movie called The Flash was about The Flash. It wasn't about Zod. It's not called Zod. It's not the Zod movie. It's the Flash movie. It's about the Flash. The Flash's character. He's the one who gets the arc. You're the antagonist. 9 times out of 10, the antagonist does not have an arc. He's just there to be an obstacle for the protagonist. we go to see films for a protagonist, not for the antagonist. Micheal Shannon has made movies before, right? I'm pretty sure he's made lots and lots of movies. I just think Ezra is a fascinating performer and actor. I can't wait to see this performance, said Shannon. It's a huge challenge. I don't want to give anything away, but what Ezra has to do in this movie is pretty crazy. I think they're up for the task. After Shannon's initial confusion about being offered to join The Flash, after all, his character's neck is snapped by Superman and Man of Steel, the actor made it a priority to get Zack Snyder's blessing to return to play Zod. Why the fuck would you need to get... Zack Snyder did not create Zod. Zack Snyder's... fucking... I swear to God. I swear to God. It's about Batman. Batman even. Yeah. Having to use the same actors in previous Terabad movies is such baggage for DC. It is. It is. I 100%. I still am 100% that I hate the fucking Zack Snyderverse. I hate fucking Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is a terrible fucking Superman movie. It's not the Superman movie that anybody fucking wanted. When Man of Steel released, people hated it. This whole Zack Snyder shit didn't start till years later, till after Zack started fucking jerking people off online. When Zack started jerking people off online and like, oh, you're so awesome. Let me go to your podcast. Oh, you're so great. Let me fucking reply to your Twitter. Right? Once Zack started doing that, suddenly there was a Snyderverse movement. But before that, no one gave a shit. Everyone was like, these movies are fucking terrible. Right? And let me just be real clear. There was no Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut did not fucking exist. It was not real. That's why Zack Snyder had to shoot a bunch of footage after they gave the green light to release the Snyder Cut. When the Snyder Cut got quote-unquote released, that's why Zack Snyder had to shoot a bunch of footage, right? He had to shoot a bunch of footage for his movie that was supposedly already finished. Because it wasn't. It wasn't finished. There was no Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut existed in his head. Sure, I mean, sure there was a vision that he might have wanted. But it did not exist as a physical thing. You know, it was not on film. It was not cut up and just sitting in a vault somewhere. So no, there was no Snyder Cut. So all you idiots who say, oh, there was a Snyder Cut. No, there wasn't. Shut up. The Snyder Cut was as real as the Amico. And in fact that it's not real. Yeah, let's keep it real though. Snyder Cut ain't Blade Runner material. It's not. It's not. Fucking Blade Runner's awesome. It's nothing. Don't even compare those two. Those two don't even belong in the same sentence together. Man of Steel had great fight scenes, actual Superman fight scenes. Yeah, but it had a terrible movie, right? It was a couple of good fight scenes with a terrible movie wrapped around it. I mean, Transformers has some pretty decent fight scenes, and those are shitty ass movies. I don't think I've seen a good Transformers movie. I haven't seen this latest one. And I haven't watched Bumblebee. But I've watched all the other Transformers movies, and they were shit. And I'm a huge Transformers fan. I grew up on Transformers. Snyder directed Shannon and Man of Steel, which kicked off his own DC universe. It didn't kick off his own DC universe. It didn't kick off shit. I was hesitant to come back because I wasn't really happy about what happened to Zack Snyder and that whole deal, said Shannon. I talked to Flash's director, Andy Muschietti, about it, and I said, Andy, look, I just want to get Zack's blessing on this because if it doesn't feel right without that. And Zack, to his credit, was very understanding. He gave me his blessing, and I went to do it. The Flash debuts in theaters on Friday. Again, Zack Snyder is not the end-all, be-all. You want to get Zack Snyder's blessing to play a fucking character that he has nothing to do with him? You weren't happy about Zack Snyder's exit from DC because, you know, Zack Snyder blew a bunch of fucking money making shitty movies? I swear to God, some people. Some people's children. I tell you. All right. From one bad deal to another. We're going to take a look at what almost happened to the Barbie movie. It's from Variety. Amy Schumer dropped out of Barbie because original script wasn't, quote, feminist and cool enough. There's a new team behind it now. Amy Schumer. One of these two women, Margot Robbie and Amy Schumer, looks like Barbie. The other is Amy Schumer. And I'm going to try to be nice about it. Try to be nice. Right? Henry Cavill is being Superman in such a waste because of directors and writers. Look at The Witcher. He turned Geralt into badass single-handedly. Yeah, not only that, but he knew the lore. Like, fucking Henry Cavill knew the fucking Witcher lore, and he was on set, like, offering notes and shit. And he's a good actor. I like The Witcher. And again, I haven't read the books or played the games, but I watched the show, and Henry Cavill fucking nailed it. He killed it. I was very interested. He kept me watching week after week, or episode after episode. Amy Schumer is trash. I agree, Jay Cuts. She is terrible. Steals jokes. Unfunny. Amy Schumer looking like week old smashed potatoes stuck on a spoon. Not wrong. You're not wrong. Long before Margot Robbie boarded the Barbie movie and got Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach to write the screenplay, it was Amy Schumer who was set to headline the project. Back in 2016, Sony Pictures had the rights to Barbie and cast Schumer to star in a movie based on an original idea and screenplay by Hillary Winston. Schumer and her sister, Kim Carmel, planned rewrites, but the comedian exited the movie less than a year later. Quote, sadly, I'm no longer able to commit to Barbie due to scheduling conflicts, the actor said in a statement to Variety at the time. The film has so much promise, and Sony and Mattel have been great partners. I'm bummed, but look forward to seeing Barbie on the big screen. It turns out scheduling conflicts was just a cover. During a new interview on Watch What Happens Live, Schumer admitted that it was, quote, creative differences that drove her off the Barbie movie. I can't wait to see the Margot Robbie movie. It looks awesome, Schumer said. I think we said it was scheduling conflicts. That's what we said. But yeah, it really was just creative differences. But you know, there's a new team behind it, and it looks like it's very feminist and cool, so I'll be seeing the movie. I haven't seen any indication that this new movie is feminist. You know she's Chuck Schumer's niece? I do know that. I don't think anything in the Barbie trailer gave me feminist vibes. I think this is Amy Schumer just trying to fucking project, right? Because oh my god, Margot Robbie's the star, so it's got to be feminist. I don't think it's feminist. I think it's Barbie. It's a fucking fun movie about Barbie, right? When host Andy Cohen asked if Schumer's script for Barbie didn't feel feminist and cool, the comedian responded, yeah. Schumer mentioned to the Hollywood Reporter last year that Sony definitely didn't want to do it the way I wanted to do it. The only way I was interested in doing it. She said she should have known the project wasn't for her when the studio gifted her a pair of Manolo Blahnik shoes to celebrate her casting. Oh no! The studio gave her nice shoes? How dare the studio give her nice shoes for being cast in a movie? She wanted some fucking Doc Martens. If they would have gave her Doc Martens, Amy Schumer would have been happy. I'm so glad. I am so fucking glad that Sony was like, no, they're not fucking making your bullshit Barbie movie, Amy Schumer. The Barbie project ultimately moved from Sony to Warner Brothers after Margot Robbie secured the rights through Mattel. She got Gerwig and Baumbach to pen the screenplay, with Gerwig later boarding the project as director. Warner Brothers is opening the film nationwide July 21st. So fucking glad. I saw the fucking trailers for Barbie movie. They look decent. I'm not a Barbie fan. I don't collect Barbies or anything, but I'm like, hey, this Barbie movie looks fun. I know what Barbie is. Barbie was a huge thing for girls growing up in the 80s. There's some nostalgia there. There's a bunch of 80s vibe to the trailer. It looked stupid. It looked irrelevant. It looked good. It looked like something that I would sit down and watch and have a laugh. I don't think I've ever laughed at a single thing that Amy Schumer has said or done with the intention to make me laugh, right? I've laughed at things she's done because she's done stupid things and I was laughing at her, right? But I never laughed with her. I never laughed at a joke she made. I never laughed at a bit she did. Because she's not funny. She's wildly unfunny, unlikable, and kind of a bitch. Should have made Barbie black. I think there is a black Barbie, but she has a different name. She's not Barbie. She's Skipper. No, Skipper's the little. I'm sure there's a black Barbie. I think Margot Robbie's gonna do. She's gonna do fine. She's gonna do fine. All right. Chugging right along. Let's see what's going on with Netflix. It's also from Variety. Netflix password crackdown drives U.S. signups to highest level in at least 4 years, says the researcher. Now, I remember when people were crying. They were crying. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Netflix is telling us we can't share the passwords anymore. What are we going to do? Netflix is going to lose so much money. First off, how the fuck would Netflix lose money when people who aren't paying for the service are no longer able to use the service? Right? You're already not paying for it. So if you don't use it, you're not hurting Netflix. When they're like, oh, we're not going to sign up. We're not going to pay for it. Like, well, you weren't fucking paying for it to begin with. People who were sharing passwords were not paying for the fucking service. Jay Cut says, fuck Netflix. Dumb motherfuckers bought right in. I used the traveling option. Well, there's that. Pirate still king, though? I don't pirate shit. I don't even think there's much on Netflix, to be honest. Like, if I didn't have it already, and I initially got Netflix because of the Marvel shows, but if I didn't get Netflix for the Marvel shows and then just keep it, there's really nothing on there that I'm like, I should get Netflix for this show or for this movie, right? I mean, it was a great deal back in the day when it started, because you had original content. You had every fucking movie, like all the movies were on Netflix at one point, right? Like all the big movies. Now everything's so divided. You got fucking Paramount Plus, Peacock, HBO Max, Warner Brothers shit, Netflix, Disney, Hulu, Amazon, Apple TV. There's probably a bunch more that I don't even know about. I'll pirate Black Mirror. You can VHS record all the streaming services. There's nothing on Netflix pirate. That's true. I hear Black Mirror is good, but I didn't see anything. When I seen the little like trailers for it, I was like, it doesn't look interesting. To me, I mean, I've heard good things about it, but still, I'm not sold on it. I'm not sold to invest my time in it. At least initially, Netflix's broad password crackdown appears to be producing the streamer's desired result and converting freeloaders into paying customers in the U.S., according to early data from research company Antenna. On May 23rd, Netflix began notifying U.S. customers that users on their accounts who live outside their household will need to be added as an extra member or get their own subscriptions. Since then, Netflix has had the 4 single largest days of U.S. user sign-up since January 2019, when Antenna first began tracking the metric. Based on the most current Antenna data available, Netflix average daily signups reached 73,000 from May 25th to May 28th, a 102% increase from the prior 60-day average. That was more than the spikes in subscriber signups Antenna recorded during the initial U.S. COVID-19 lockdown in March and April. So even before, like when they hit the big spike for COVID, this surge was even greater than that. So much for everybody boycotting. I'm so sick and tired. So sick and tired of all these people going on Twitter and on fucking Reddit and making videos saying how they're going to fucking boycott this, they're going to boycott that. And then they don't do shit. None of these people ever fucking boycott anything. Right? How many people were going to boycott Disney? We're going to boycott Disney. And then they fucking have videos about Disney the second fucking new Disney content comes out. We're going to boycott Reddit because Reddit's a big meanie. Reddit has the most users they've ever had, right? All you people are pussies. You don't know what a boycott is. You've never actually done a boycott. You don't have the willpower in this fucking generation is so fucking pathetic. So pathetic. You guys can't boycott shit. They boycotted Bud Light quickly. Did they really? Did they really boycott Bud Light? I mean, the company that owns Bud Light, they went and bought the beer that the company owns. So they boycotted the Bud Light brand, but the actual company, they didn't hurt the bottom line of the company because the company, they went and bought the other beer that they make, right? That's what people didn't realize. Yeah, Bud Light sales went down, but then the other beer sales went up, and that other beer is owned by the same company that owns Bud Light. It's like boycotting Coke and then buying Sprite. And like, oh, fucker, Sprite's owned by the same people that make Coke. Social media is a really small minority compared to the people who live outside of it. This is true. The Shamtastic Unicorn Tam, what's up? Thank you for popping in for this craziness. Boycott is only in America? Yeah. Didn't you tell people to boycott the Intellivision Amico? I did not. I never told anybody to boycott Amico. What I said was this was a stupid idea that's not going to make any money, and investing in it would be a stupid proposition. Sure they did. They had a 30% market share drop. Yes, Bud Light had a 30% market share drop. But the company that owns Bud Light isn't a company, right? Let's see. Who owns Bud Light? Bud Light is owned by Anheuser-Busch. Okay, so Anheuser-Busch, they own a bunch of. They have a bunch of different beer brands, right? So Bud Light was one of their brands, and they lost a bunch of money. But the people that stopped drinking Bud Light, they didn't stop drinking, period, right? They started drinking the other beer brands, without realizing that, yeah. Michelob, Natural Light and Natty Daddy, Cass, Castle, Corona, Harbin, Estrella, Jalisco, Aguila, Beck's, Stella Artois, Jupiler, Kona, Lef, Landshark Lager, Modelo, Presidente, Hogan Garden, Labatt, Hurricane, Rolling Rock, Skull, Johnny Appleseed, Shock Top, and Quilms are just some of the other brands owned by Anheuser-Busch, by the people who own, Bud Light. So like I said, the people who stopped drinking Bud Light, you stop drinking Bud Light, you end up drinking Michelob Light, or fucking I'm gonna go buy Corona, right? And they don't realize it's the same company. Any press is good press. That's true. Now they want to Miller and Coors, which is direct competition. Did they? Let me see. Let's look up Bud Light boycott. Let's take a. Let's see. Anheuser-Busch boycott. Kid Rock, he was in favor. Bud Light. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. They fell 20%. Coors rose 19%. Let's see. So Budweiser, Busch, Michelob Ultra, they fell. Coors Light went up. It says they had a 15% drop in stock. So the stock price went down 15% overall. So, yeah. The moment all those other beer brands stop undercutting Bud Light, people will go back to Bud Light. It's true. It's true. You'll never take down Modelo? Hell no. Or Corona. Yeah, like I thought they stopped making Twinkies. Did they? Americans are short memory sheep. Not just Americans, everybody. Everybody's short memory sheep. We live in a 30%, yeah, but it went back up. I don't think they lost. I don't think it's a permanent loss of market share. Anyway, back to the Netflix US cancellations also increased over May 25th to 28th. A phenomenon the company told investors is expected, but those were less than the number of signups, according to the antenna. The ratio of signups to cancellations since May 23rd increased 25.6% compared with the previous 60-day period. In the U.S., Netflix has told customers they must buy an extra member and an additional $7.99 a month for anyone who doesn't live with them that currently uses their account. The streamer has said it will start blocking devices that attempt to access a Netflix account without having a legitimate account access. According to New York-based antenna, its estimates are based on millions of permissions-based consumer opt-in raw transaction records, which are sourced from a variety of data collection partners. The data includes online purchase receipts, credit, debit, and banking data, and bill scrape data. So it's not exact science. Amid widespread global economic uncertainty, our view is that Netflix should be able to deliver solid subscriber and financial results by better monetizing the 100 million plus households that use Netflix products, but do not currently pay for it via higher ARPU and or conversion to pay subscribers. Pivotal Research Group analyst Jeff W. wrote in a note Friday. Netflix is the world's clearly dominant streaming video player, according to W, with strong medium-long-term growth that is not properly reflected in the current valuation. He noted that the company's recently introduced ad-supported plan, which Netflix said had attracted nearly 5 million subs in the first 6 months, also should contribute to better results. Importantly, Netflix, unlike its streaming peers, has demonstrated massive scale economics, which is evidenced by the major ramp in free cash flow, a trend expected to continue in 24 plus. Pivotal Research raised its year-end 2023 target at Netflix stock from $425 a share to Wall Street high $535 a share. Blah, 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 blah. They expect Netflix to make a whole bunch of money. Do you think it was good for Netflix to clamp down on password sharing? Will they ever get back to their peak since they have a lot of competitors now? I think it was good for Netflix to clamp down on password sharing because, again, the people who were using it without paying, they're not your customers. They're not paying customers. They're not contributing anything. In fact, people who were not paying, they were probably harming Netflix more. Think about it. The amount of people who are watching Netflix without paying, they were throwing off the numbers as to what shows were popular, what shows weren't popular, what shows were getting likes. Viewer counts. That's what I'm saying. 56K. So people who weren't paying were affecting the view counts of certain shows. And so then Netflix was probably like, oh, this is popular. This isn't popular, right? But the people who are paying for it are the ones that you should be catering to. You should be catering to the people that pay for the service, not the people who are just watching it for free. Now the door is open for all streaming services to do the same. They should. They should. People shouldn't be fucking stealing. Stealing is bad. As long as Netflix gives us the option to validate the logins, I don't mind once a month hassle. It sets a good standard. I agree. People should just pay for shit. Look, if you want to watch something, pay for it. If you don't want to pay for it, don't watch it. It's really not that hard. There is so many options. So many options. I know people hate me to say this, right? But there's so many options. You don't need to watch what's on Netflix, right? You could watch something else. If you don't want to pay for Netflix, watch YouTube content. If you don't want to pay for YouTube Premium and you just want the free YouTube, watch the free YouTube, right? Family plan is an option. They could do that. But, I mean, if your family doesn't live in your home, it's not really an option. It's Netflix's fault for using subscriber money to make shitty, failing shows instead of quality. Well, not really. Because, again, let's say that the people who weren't paying were watching the shitty shows. So they thought it was good, right? So, this is what people like. And then the people that were paying started canceling. And they were confused, like, why are people canceling Netflix? These are the shows that they're watching. Well, it turns out that the people that were watching were not the people paying. If y'all got the time to watch, you got $5 or whatever, yeah. Now they IP geolocking the family plans. They should. If you don't watch Netflix, watch the Geek Getaway. Exactly. It's BS to charge extra for sharing. No, it's not. They don't allow sharing. They say you can't share. That's their rules. Sure it is, they're wasting their capital. Yeah, but they didn't know they were wasting their capital is what I'm saying, Jay Cuts. What I'm saying is they thought that this is what people wanted based on people who were watching it. And it turns out it wasn't what people wanted, right? Netflix has made some dumb stuff like they didn't make Cuties, JM Del Santos. Netflix did not make Cuties. Family plan is sharing. Well, if they're saying that it's not to be used the way that you're using it, the family plan was for like the same household, not for people like across the country, right? As far as I'm aware. Like, because you can only have X amount of devices, and the family plan was so you could have more devices in your household. Right, and whose fault is that? The consumers or the producers? Well, it would be the people who are not paying and making the views skewed. The producers can only go by what they're told, right? Netflix's PR campaign was about sharing, and it's not anymore. They've changed their mind, 56K. I mean, what's so hard to be like, hey, we're not doing that no more. They're now punishing the users for their misstep. They're not punishing you guys. They're not customers. They're not paying. I don't understand. It's like going, hey, we're gonna stop people from stealing. I know people used to steal in my store, but I'm gonna crack down on stealing. And you're like, hey, why you not letting us steal anymore? And I'm like, well, because stealing kind of, I don't want you to steal because it's my money, it's my product. And you're like all mad at me. Boycott Netflix. Yeah, do that. They were going to boycott Netflix. Now I said users. That's what I'm saying though. Users don't matter. It's customers that matter. It's people that pay you money that matter. That's the bottom line, right? The bottom line is if you're not paying, they don't care. And you had all those people that were saying that they were going to cancel, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think anybody canceled. I don't think... No, it was ridiculous. Let's see. Users do matter. They need audience for their shows. Not really. They don't need an audience if you're not paying for it. If 1 million people watched your show on Netflix, but none of them paid, what good is it? You've made no money. If people are like, oh yeah, you need to watch this show on Netflix, and then they're like, they don't sign up, but they just use someone's plan to watch it, that did not help Netflix at all. Most of their marketing is word of mouth, yeah, but that word of mouth has to turn into actual sales. By cracking down on sharing the Netflix password, they're going to be able to turn that word of mouth marketing into sales. Before, they weren't turning it into sales. That's the thing, right? You got to realize that. Hey, we got away with it for some time. That's what I'm saying. You guys got away with it. You got spoiled. People got spoiled with having got away with it, and now they're all mad. Give a mouse a cookie, right? All right. This I thought was a really weird article. IndieWire. Elle Fanning says she lost out on a role at 16 because she was billed as, quote, unfuckable. The then child star missed out on an unnamed father-daughter road trip comedy role when she was a teen. So, she was up for a role in a movie. Netflix is trash. It is. There's a limit on devices being able to watch Netflix. That's what I'm saying. That's why the family plan was invented, so you have more devices. It's just an attempt to reach cable tier price. Is it? All right. So, Elle Fanning was up for a role in a movie. And apparently, a producer or a casting director, somebody, said, no, we're not going to put Elle in this movie because she's, quote, unfuckable. And the thing about it is, she was 16 at the time. So, just think about the implication. The implication there. Let's read the article. Elle Fanning is opening up about being sexualized by Hollywood. The child star revealed during a Hollywood Reporter roundtable interview that she lost out on a comedy role at age 16 over being billed as, quote, unfuckable. I've never told this story, but I was trying out for a movie. I didn't get it. I don't even think they ever made it, but it was a father-daughter road trip comedy. Fanning said, I didn't hear from my agents because they wouldn't tell me things like this. That filtration system is really important because there's probably a lot more damaging comments that they filtered. But this one got to me. I was 16 years old, and a person said, oh, she didn't get the father-daughter road trip comedy because she's unfuckable. The great actress added, it's so disgusting, and I can laugh at it now, like, what a disgusting pig. Fanning continued, I was always immensely confident, but of course, you're growing up in the public eye, and it's weird. I look at paparazzi photos from when I was 12 and think, is that a good thing to see such a mirror of yourself at that age? I don't feel like it damaged me, but it definitely made me aware of myself. Of the great, Fanning said, I am grateful for the show because I don't feel I'm fighting against the child actor thing anymore. The Super 8 alum recently shared that she also was not considered for a major franchise role over her social media status. During the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Fanning said, I'm not going to say what it was, but I didn't get a part once for something big because, and it might not have just been this reason, but this was all the feedback that I heard, was because I didn't have enough Instagram followers at the time. Elle Fanning most recently joined Timothy Chalamet and Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I thought this was weird, right? This was like, how weird is Hollywood? How weird is Hollywood that they would say, hey, we're going to cast a 16-year-old, but she's got to be a fuckable 16, right? We need a fuckable 16-year-old in this role. That's just weird. That's just weird. Fucking Hollywood, man. Road trip with Woody Allen. That's what I'm saying. It's like, fuck. Was that Harvey Weinstein? I don't think it was, but it might have been. Is that a category? Maybe they didn't want to get in trouble because she's underage, creepy. Yeah, maybe they're, I don't know. Hollywood people are fucking weird. Maybe the dude wasn't attracted to her. He's like, I'm not going to put her on the casting couch. I need someone that I'm attracted to. Man. I just thought that was a weird fucking story. Maybe better she didn't get but yeah, it might be. It might have worked out in her favor. Fucking weird. It's fucking weird, man. And she was in a lot of things. Like her sister was in a lot of shit. Dakota Fanning. She was in a lot of things as a child actress. So it's not like she was a complete unknown. It wasn't like, oh, we're not sure if she's a good actress, right? So it's just weird that they'd be like, she's unfuckable. It's fucking weird. Hollywood. All right. Last thing. I just want to go over some of these movies, sequels. Now, I'm not a big believer in sequels right now. I want to see original properties, original movies. We always hear that from other people. I've had arguments with people before where they're like, oh, I want original IPs. And then they get really excited when they hear about a sequel coming out, or like they want to talk about franchises, and that's what gets them all hot and bothered. I'm like, nah, man, it's original shit. 137 movie sequels currently on the way. It's weird because at first it's the title in the URL is 107 movie sequels. The link says 136 movie sequels, and the article itself says 137. So they couldn't even make up their mind how many movie sequels are on the way. The list just keeps growing. Hollywood still loves its follow-ups. Here's our roundup of 137 and counting sequels currently on the way. All right, so let's just see. We got The Accountant 2, which was not unexpected. The After series, I've never even heard of this shit. We've already had After and After We Collided. With 4 books in the series, the film adaptations for book 3 and 4, After We Fell, and After Ever After. Wow. The Animal 2. What the shit? Yes, Rob Schneider is returning for a sequel to 2001's. It's like fucking 22 years later, The Animal. Schneider will once again be playing the role of Marvin Mange, a man who gets animal parts following a near-fatal injury. Those animal parts led to him behaving differently. Patricia Snyder, Rob Schneider, and Jamie Lislow are set to pan the script, and currently planned is for Schneider to direct too. Instead of going to cinemas, The Animal 2 has been ordered for Fox's Tubi platform. I didn't know Fox owned Tubi. Filming on this unlikely sequel is set to begin next year. So Tubi's getting their own exclusive, a fucking Tubi exclusive, The Animal 2. Rob Schneider is the stapler. Streaming services is the new straight to DVD. Yeah. Nostalgia is a moneymaker. It is. Jay Cut says I've been unfuckable for most of my life. Don't say that. I'm sure there's somebody out there for you, Jay. I'm sure. Space Ice has Rob Schneider upload coming. What? Why is it overrated? What's overrated? Oh, Retro Complex said the Terminator was overrated? What? The fuck? Like the original Terminator? Or like just like he's talking about the movie, right? He said the movie was overrated? Or was he talking about like the game? Because those are two different things, right? But if he's talking the movie, like the original fucking Terminator, that's a fucking masterpiece in cinema. I don't think it can be overrated. No. I will not stand for this heresy. Was it like a tweet or something? Where did you see this? Now I'm interested. Fucking calling that original movie. Jesus, how can you call it? Some people. Aquaman 2, we knew about that. Aladdin 2. Following the giant success of Disney's live-action take on Aladdin. So is Will Smith coming back? It's kind of weird. I thought Will Smith was like persona non grata. Following the giant success of Disney's live-action take on Aladdin in 2019, the studio is now said to be considering a follow-up to the movie, although whether it'll follow the path set by the animated The Return of Jafar is unknown. Producer Dan Lin confirmed that work is being done to explore another film, although as of yet, no further announcement has been made. There are also plans for a Disney Plus spin-off project that may or may not replace a direct sequel. Oh, crap. Most Violent Year 2? I never even heard of a Most Violent Year. A Simple Favor 2. What the fuck is A Simple Favor? Atomic Blonde 2. I thought Atomic Blonde fucking bombed. Charlize Theron headlined the action hit Atomic Blonde back in 2017, and it was revealed pretty soon after that the sequel talk had begun. Director David Leitch, as recently as summer 2019, confirmed that a follow-up was still being chatted about, but he suggested it may not head to cinemas, with instead a streaming service picking up the project. I was pretty sure that Atomic Blonde was like a fucking bombshell. Like fucking bomb. Not a bombshell, but a fucking bomb. Fuck. Like it was a flop. No, it grossed $100 million off of a $30 million budget. Wow. It made $70 fucking million. People actually went to go see that bullshit. Attack the Block 2. Avatar 3, 4, and 5. Well, we knew that was happening. Avengers 4, 5, and 6. Come on, we knew that. Bad Boys 4. The Batman 2. Beetlejuice 2. We knew about that. Beverly Hills Cop 4. What? In a surprise move, Paramount is partnering with Netflix on the long-muted Beverly Hills Cop sequel that will see Eddie Murphy reprise the role of Axel Foley for what we assume will be the last time. Jerry Bruckheimer returns to produce, and film will go straight to Netflix's streaming service. It was originally set to be directed by Adil Al-Arbi and Bilal Fallah, who quit the project to focus on DC's Batgirl, which then got canceled. Mark Malloy is now taking the reins. We're getting another fucking Bad Boys. Hell yeah. Who will be Aladdin? Chris Rock. They should. That'll be reparations. Chris Rock as the genie. Yeah. It was on Master Debaters. I don't watch Master Debaters. I don't watch Panda Sub. I think he's fucking overrated. I think Panda Sub is all style, no substance. I'm not a fan of the Panda Sub. Disney loves beating a dead horse. Well, it's not a dead horse if it keeps making money, right? Will it be all right with movies? Family, on the other hand, is fucked. Oh, who pays to watch this trash? Other people, not me. Not me. Sham says, I guess everyone now pays? Yeah, everyone, because they got to pay for them Netflix. Yeah, baby. This is a lot of Will Smith. It is. It is. Considering what Will Smith did, it's getting a lot of Will Smith stuff. And we get Bright 2, which is also Will Smith. Brightburn 2. James Gunn, who co-wrote and produced the first film, is toying with the sequel to Brightburn, the low-budget superhero horror that was directed by David Yarowski. Discussions are said to be underway, but Gunn's commitment to the Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 likely take precedence. Well, that already happened. Those were already over. When the hell did this fucking list come out? Bring it on. Hell yeah. A new sequel to the hit movie about competing cheerleading squads is in discussion. No. Nah, I don't like that. You know what's a pretty decent superhero thing that's on Netflix? If you got Netflix and you want like a alternate take, not quite The Boys, but more of a DC bootleg. And there's something called the Guardians of Justice. It's a 7-episode series. It's basically what if Superman commits suicide. That's like the hook. Watch that. Guardians of Justice. It's pretty decent. The guy who made it, I don't like him. He's the guy who wanted Apu canceled. But it's a pretty decent watch either way. Homelander did it better. He did. But Homelander pretty much stole. I think The Boys stole a lot from fucking Squadron Supreme Power. Captain America 4, we knew about. Marvels 2. Chicken Run. It's getting a sequel. What? Clifford the Big Red Dog 2. Clifford's getting a sequel. Constantine 2, that's not coming out. Crazy Rich Asians 2 and 3. We're getting 2 sequels? What? We're getting a Demolition Man sequel? Out of the blue, Sylvester Stallone announced on his Instagram feed in May of 2020 that a follow-up to 1993's Demolition Man was finally on the cards. Warner Brothers is backing the project once again, and development is underway. What is there left in Demolition Man? Pretty much ended the only way it could, right? The people from underground, from the sewers, have risen up. The utopian society has been overthrown. Freedom, America is back on the menu, and fascism for the greater good has been off the table. There's no need. I'll have to pirate Guardians of Justice. Do it. It's a good show. Highly recommend it. Pooh canceled. Yeah. The Guardians, I was hoping someone would say it was okay. It is. Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler, is the main star of Guardians of Justice. He plays Nighthawk. He does a really good job, considering he's a fucking wrestler and not an actor. He does a really good job. It's a blend of live action, claymation, animation. It sounds like it wouldn't work, right? But it somehow does. Like, it blends all these styles. It's good. Skips the ones that are ongoing. Lol, this list is padded. I think this list is padded. Does he do a diamond cut on someone? He does. He actually does. Shoulders back, chest out, diamond cutter. He gets a hallway fight scene and he diamond cuts a guy. It's pretty dope. Den of Thieves. I didn't even know there was a fucking Den of Thieves 1. Despicable Me 4, Detective Pikachu 2, Dirty Dancing, District 10. This one's back on the radar. No, it's not. Dodgeball 2. I like Dodgeball, but again, this is a movie that doesn't need a sequel. There's no sequel needed. Drag Me to Hell 2. Again, doesn't need it. We knew Dune was coming out. The Equalizer 3. Eternals 2. No. God, no. Eternals sucked. We don't need it. Expendables 4. This one's back on. Scott Waugh is directing, and some old Expendables and some new ones are in the cast. Jason Statham is leading the band this time with Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, Tony Jaa, Randy Couture, 50 Cent, and Megan Fox in the lineup. Did that come out already? I feel like this list is old. No, it's actually coming out this year, in September. How did I not know this movie existed? Until looking at this list, I had no idea that there was an Expendables 4 coming out. They don't make movies like Dodgeball anymore. Yeah, exactly, and they don't. In the modern era, they couldn't make a movie like Dodgeball, so I would be afraid of what Dodgeball 2 is going to be. Afraid. Goldust does not get a cameo, but what's his name? Dolph Ziggler's in the movie. Dolph Ziggler gets a cameo. He plays the Dick Grayson type character. It's like a Dick Grayson / Winter Soldier type character. He's in the movie. Looking back, Diamond is the old broken man powered by crack rocks, always able to do superhuman things while being bandaged up like a mummy. Yeah, and he got into the actual wrestling part of the business. Like, I think it was like 40 when he finally stepped into the ring as a wrestler. It was weird. But he made it somehow. Like, fucking Macho Man made his career. Right, it's a movie of its time. That's what I'm saying. The Git is Seagal for Expendables 4. I don't think any of those guys actually like Steven Seagal. Andy Garcia is going to be in this one. Hell yeah. Doesn't say. Let's see. We got Dolph Lundgren, 50 Cent, Megan Fox, Jason Statham, Tony Jaa, Randy Couture, Sylvester Stallone. And it looks like Sylvester Stallone says this is going to be his final Expendables. He's passing the mantle off to Statham. So yeah, we won't get a. If this is Sylvester Stallone's last role, we're not going to get a fucking Steven Seagal one, unless Steven Seagal shows up like a fucking cameo out of nowhere, the same way that Chuck Norris showed up. It's not going to happen. Did you find DDP's wife Kimberly attractive? She was for a while. She was pretty hot. My favorite actor is Andy Garcia. Funny enough, I like Andy Garcia in the Pink Panther 2. I actually like the fucking Pink Panther 2 movie. Wasn't DDP Bischoff's neighbor? That's what I hear. I grew up with Hong Kong action movies, never got into Expendables. Expendables is like nostalgia action movie. That's all it is. Like, if you didn't have any nostalgia for the cast, Sylvester Stallone and all those guys, those action stars from the 90s, it's not for you, right? Things to do in Denver, never seen that. The Exorcist getting it. Extraction 2, what we got? Face Off. What? Director Adam Wingard and his writing partner Simon Barrett are working on a new Face Off movie that we're now told will be a sequel to the 90s favorite rather than a remake or reboot. That was... Fast and Furious 11. Didn't we just get that movie? This is an old ass article. Final Destination 6, Freaky Friday 2, Free Guy 2. No, I don't need that. Frozen 3, don't need that. Fallen 4, 5, and 6. No, come on. Olympius has fallen. London has fallen. Angel has fallen. Now we're going to get more Fallen movies. Gerard Butler is just going to be all over the map, saving fucking heads of state. Girls Trip 2, don't need that. That wasn't... not for me. Gladiator 2, that's been fucking development hell for a long time. Godzilla vs. Kong 2. Yeah, we knew that. Good Burger 2. What? This seems like an unlikely sequel, and yet it's been greenlit. Nickelodeon stars Keenan and Kel are reprising their roles from Good Burger for a belated follow-up. The first film was a spin-off from series All That, and saw Keenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell playing employees at a local burger restaurant. They then find themselves fighting to save it when a big chain moves in across the road. Kevin Coppolo and Heath Seifert are penning the sequel script, and Phil Trail will direct. The movie will be released on Paramount Plus and already has an official synopsis. Dexter Reed is down on his luck after another one of his inventions fails. Ed welcomes Dex back to Good Burger with open arms and gives him his old job back. With a new crew working at Good Burger, Dex devises a plan to get back on his feet, but unfortunately puts the fate of Good Burger at risk once again. I like Good Burger. Good Burger was a good movie. I don't see how they can make a Good Burger 2. Dan Schneider is the boss in Good Burger. He's the manager. I don't think he's gonna be the manager in Good Burger 2. Face Off, wow. Can't do it without Woo. Hard Boiled. Yeah. That could be cool new tech. I don't know, man. Face Off was already like, you're gonna put John Travolta's big face on Nicolas Cage's little head. Doesn't make any sense. Good Burger, no, it doesn't. Good Burger's awesome. Shut your mouth. I will not have this Good Burger heresy. I like stupid movies. Okay, I think I've said this before. I like incredibly stupid movies where I don't have to think. Right, I can just sit down and watch like incredibly stupid things, like Good Burger. What the hell's that on? Thunder Force on Netflix with Melissa McCarthy. It is insanely stupid, but I'm like, oh, this is funny. I like this because it's so stupid. This whole list sucks. Good Burger is a classic. Intro shower scene is still unmatched. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I have your order? A Greyhound 2, Gunpowder Milkshake 2. What the fuck is Gunpowder? I haven't even heard of some of these movies. Happy Death Day. Hobbs and Shaw 2. Yeah, The Rock's going back to that after all of his flops. Hocus Pocus 3, I Am Legend 2. I Know What You Did Last Summer, again. After the return of the Scream franchise, Sony's looking to resurrect I Know What You Did Last Summer with another sequel, with both Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt in talks to reprise their roles. You can bet this would be a legacy sequel if they do come for another installment. Do Revenge's Jennifer Caitlin Robinson is set to direct, with Leah McKendrick writing the screenplay. This will be the fourth movie in the series and third to star Hewitt and Prinze Jr. Oh man, Indiana Jones 5, we knew about. Inside Out 2, John Wick 5, Joker 2, Jumanji 4, what? A Jungle Cruise 2? No, we don't need this shit. Karate Kid? No. Following the huge success of Karate Kid's sequel series Cobra Kai, Sony Pictures has confirmed that a new Karate Kid film will be released in 2024. It's perhaps, unfortunately, unrelated to Cobra Kai and will reportedly doesn't involve any of the creators or cast. In fact, the project doesn't currently have a director or cast attached. How are you going to make a new Karate Kid and not have anybody from Cobra Kai? The Army says no new G.I. Joe movie. Well, spoiler alert for anybody who is interested in the new Transformers movie. Maybe mute the stream for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Spoiler warning. Okay. At the end of the new Transformers movie, at the very end, the human character is being interviewed in what looks like a warehouse. He's being interviewed for a job, like a security job, and he's telling them about the Transformers and everything. And eventually, the guy says, "We want to recruit you," and he hands him a card. He opens a little panel, and like it opens up to like a secret military facility, and he hands him a card, and the card says G.I. motherfucking Joe. G.I. Joe has been established to now exist in the Transformers universe. There's either going to be a G.I. Joe movie or a Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie. So if G.I. Joe's your jam, it's coming back. All right. Spoiler. The Jackie Chan Karate Kid movie was painful. It was so fucking horrible. Talk about milking the industry with most of these lack of integrity movies. I'm good. Yeah, I'm not really excited about a lot of these. Knives Out 3, obviously we're going to get that. Kung Fu Panda 4. The third one wasn't that good. The Last Starfighter 2. What the fuck is this shit? Here's a surprise. A follow-up to 1984's The Last Starfighter is finally on the way. Legal problems had held the project up, but Jonathan Butal, who wrote the original, and Gary Whitta, who co-wrote Rogue One, are now working on a new movie. There's some way to go before anyone agrees to pay for it to be made. But fingers crossed this one finally happens. No. Last Witch Hunter 2, Legally Blonde 3, Lethal Weapon 5, Lion King 2, Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat. Lord of War 2, Megan 2, we knew that. Mad Max 5, Mallrats 2, what? Kevin Smith needs some of that money, huh? Kevin Smith has resurrected his plans for a Mallrats sequel and is working on a screenplay for the film that he'll also direct. This is separate from the once planned and abandoned Mallrats movie of a few years back. Expect the core cast all back. A possible 2020 start date was on the cards. No sign of it yet, though. Midnight Run 2, Mission Impossible 7 and 8, My Spy 2, The Myth 2. I didn't even know what the fuck The Myth is. Newer Police Story. In 2004, the Police Story franchise got a soft reboot with New Police Story, and now star Jackie Chan has announced a sequel. He will both be producing and starring as Nicholas Sa, who co-starred in the first movie, will be making his directorial debut. Wow, a new Police Story coming out. A new Police Story. G.I. Joe is never bad. Did you say 1984? I did. Last Starfighter is coming to the Amico. It's coming to the Amico. I just wet myself. It happens. What excitement. As long as we still get a Tron 3. Oh, you Super J. You didn't hear about it, did you? Oh, man. So there's going to be a new Tron movie. It's called like Tron Hades. Something like that. Or Ares. Tron Ares. Let's see. So you're getting that. Let's see. And I think there's going to be a female lead for the new Tron movie. Jodie Turner-Smith is cast as a new lead for Tron. According to this rumor. So here, I'll stop sharing that. I'll go to the Tron thing real quick. So this is this lady here. Rumor: Jodie Turner-Smith cast as female lead in Disney's Tron Ares. It has been nearly 2 months since we've heard anything about the highly anticipated third installment in Disney's Tron franchise. While production is slated to start later this year, we've come across an exciting new rumor that hints that production might be even further along than we know. According to the industry insider Daniel RPK, Jodie Turner-Smith has been cast as the female lead of the film. He revealed via his Patreon account early Friday. So there you go. One of the scoopers has said, female lead. So there you go. Edge of Tomorrow is underappreciated. Is it? I've never seen that. Jeff Bridges couldn't save the last Tron? No, I couldn't. The dude did not abide. Hedlund is a mess of a human, so he was never going to be him. What is your opinion on race-swapping historical figures? They made Cleopatra black when she was Greek. Well, she's Macedonian, not Greek. Well, if Cleopatra were a theatrical release movie, would it cause outrage? It caused outrage already. It caused outrage within the Egyptian community, the Egyptian historical society. I think you should 100% not race swap historical figures if you're making any sort of informative movie, right? If you're doing like Hamilton, right? Hamilton is not real, right? It's based on real people, but it's not real. It's like a play. It's a musical. That I think is different from doing a documentary. If you're doing a documentary on the Founding Fathers, then they should be played by white actors. It wouldn't be Disney without a female lead. It's true. It's true. Let's see what else we got going. Now You See Me 3. I like the first one. I wasn't big on the second Now You See Me. The Nun 2, The Old Guard 2, Paddington 3. Hell yeah. Passion of the Christ Resurrection. Finally. If they were smart, this would have been a smart marketing gimmick. They should have filmed Passion of the Christ and the sequel at the same time, and then 3 days after Passion of the Christ hit theaters, 3 days later should have been the sequel. So Passion of the Christ, and then 3 days later, boom, Jesus is back, just like in real life. Jesus is back, yo. He is risen. Yeah. Most women I know are Macedonian, always at the clinic. Mel Gibson's film, The Passion of the Christ. I seen that in theaters. I think it was kind of overrated. Passion of the Christ is overrated. Maybe I'm just a bad Christian, but I thought it's a little much. Remains one of the most successful independent movies ever made. A little known fact, the original Ninja Turtles was at one time the most successful independent film ever released. He's hired Braveheart writer Randall Wallace to pen the script. Why do you need... This doesn't make any sense to me. This makes zero sense to me. Why do you need someone to pen a script for Passion of the Christ sequel? I mean, you literally have a whole book that tells you what happened, right? Like it's literally like just pick up the Bible and flip to the page and be like, oh, that's what happened. Boom, Jesus came back. Like it writes itself. You really don't need to hire anybody special to do a script for Passion of the Christ. Jim Caviezel is once again expected to play Christ. A rough release date of 2021 has been mooted, with Gibson directing again. We're still waiting, though. Paw Patrol 2, hell yeah! Planet of the Apes 4, Perot 3. There was a Perot 2? What the fuck? The Princess Diaries 3? Damn, we don't need that. Quiet Place 3, don't need that. Red Notice 2 and 3, don't need that. Red State 2, in the wake of release of Clerks 3, Kevin Smith seems set to follow up another of his movies, 2011's Red State. A sequel was previously impossible because of some pesky rights issue. Lionsgate had trouble contacting the copyright holders, but it now seems that they're more responsive as time has passed, and plans for a sequel are back on track. With Michael Parks, who appeared in the original film, passed away in 2017, Kevin Smith is eager to push forward, especially if he can get John Goodman to return. Riddick 4, we don't need a new Riddick. We don't need a new RoboCop either. The Rocket fucking tier. Oh my god. RRR 2. That's what we need. Rocky 7. Don't need that. Sea Beast 2. I didn't even know there was a Sea Beast 1. Sherlock Holmes 3. I want that. That's what I want. Sister Act 3. Fuck. Whoopi Goldberg will be getting back in the habit for a third Sister Act film that has been greenlit by Disney. It'll be heading to Disney Plus service rather than getting a theatrical premiere. Still the early days of this one, though, but it's definitely happening, and it's due towards the end of 2022. That didn't happen. Smile 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 3, obviously. Terrifier 3, Sonic 3, Toy Story 5, don't want that. There's the Tron 3, Twister 2, don't... Vacation Friends, I didn't even... Wedding Crashers 2. Oh, man, I love... Wedding Crashers is a great movie. I don't think Wedding Crashers 2 can Sister Act 3 starring Buddhist monks. Yeah. The Rocketeer is now on the launch pad. We just need more fuel. Last Temptation was good. I enjoyed that. I mean, I already knew the story. I knew how it was going to end, right? It's one of those... It's like watching the Titanic. You know how it's going to end, right? It's like... Jesus is gonna get, he does his Jesus thing. He gets taken to the fucking Pontius Pilate. He gets, told he's gonna be crucified. He walks the cross. He gets whooped. Crown of thorns. Puts in a cave. 3 days later, he's resurrected. Right? I knew the story, so it wasn't like there was no surprises. There was no shock. Right? It wasn't like anybody ran out of the crowd and fucking. Stone cold stunned fucking Pontius Pilate or anything, right? It's by the book. Fucking Rocketeer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, what? Christians went ape shit when Madonna cast a Black Jesus and Like a Prayer. I remember that. I mean, that whole, the whole thing, even the song, Like a Prayer, is, so fucking, it's a very dirty song. It doesn't mean the thing. J.M. De Los Santos, they race swapped Jesus to a white man and never more eaten up. It's true. I prefer my Jesus Korean. I like Korean Jesus. X3, Wind River 2, Your Christmas or Mine 2, Zootropolis 2, oh shit, or Zootopia 2 if you're in the U.S. 47 Ronin 2, don't want it. Hollywood needs to fucking do new shit. All right, that's all we got for today, folks. I prefer Baby Jesus. Yeah, dear Lord, Baby Jesus, with your Baby Jesus powers, please bless all my fans and all the people watching on the replay. And of course, Bless Powerade with its new Mystic Mountain Blue. Amen. All right. As always, love, peace, booty grease. I'm out this bitch.